Hi, everybody. It has been a long time since I've gone live, close to a year. I think the last time I went live was in July of last year. But I wanted to come on here and say thank you to all of you. I am currently one subscriber away from 2,000, which is absolutely insane. I honestly can't believe that. When I first started, I never thought I'd have thousands, so to be at 2,000 is crazy. And I wanted to come on here and thank you guys, and thank you also to everyone who's bought my book in the past year. I've been not much on YouTube the past year. After the book came out and I realized I had all this content and like things were taken care of, I just kind of stopped paying attention. But yeah, the channel kept growing and I am very grateful for all of you and just wanted to come on here and thank you. And I also wanted to talk about something that happened over the weekend that I think is a good lesson on the everything being possible, even though people think it's impossible topic. So I just thought I'd come on here live and hang out for a little bit and talk about that. And like I said, thank you to all of you for the support over the almost 2 years since I started my channel. I am so grateful for you guys. And yeah, I've kind of been in a place of wanting to do more stuff with YouTube again, so we'll see what happens. But I wanted to come on here and talk about the impossible becoming possible. I have been a fan of NHL hockey since the 90s. It's been a long time. I've been watching hockey for a long time, and the thing that has been true up until recently that everyone agreed on, no one will beat Wayne Gretzky's records. He was the best player to ever play. No one will ever beat his records. Now, I agree. Hi. I'm so happy to see you again. I'm happy to be here. Like I was saying in the intro there, I've been gone for a minute. Anyway, Wayne Gretzky has the unbeatable records. No one will ever beat Wayne Gretzky's records. And while I agree there's probably never going to be another player that's going to set as many records as Wayne Gretzky set, because he holds like all of them in the regular season and the playoffs, which is nuts. But everyone always said, all I ever heard since the 90s, no one will ever beat these records. They're unbeatable. Well, on Sunday, I watched with my very own eyes Alexander Ovechkin beat Wayne Gretzky's goal record. On Friday night, he got 2 goals in that game to tie it, and in the same amount of games that it took Wayne Gretzky to set the record that was supposed to be the all-time record that no one could ever beat, Alexander Ovechkin scored his 895th goal in the NHL. And that's not the only record of Wayne Gretzky's that has gotten broken recently. Sidney Crosby has beaten the other, all of his records. They're unbeatable. Wayne Gretzky's never going to be beaten. And Sidney Crosby has been a point per game player for 20 seasons in a row. Wayne Gretzky did it for 19. So averaging a point per game for 20 seasons in a row. Again, breaking a record set by the great one, which I thought was kind of fitting to come on here right before I hit my 2,000 subscribers, because Wayne Gretzky was 99. And yeah, it was just such a moment of, yeah, nothing's impossible. It may look impossible. It didn't seem like it would be possible, but I remember a few years ago, people starting to talk about, man, could Ovechkin do it? Could he do it? I mean, the numbers are kind of showing that he could, but like that would be insane. He won't actually do it. And then he started having seasons where at the beginning part of the season, he wasn't playing very well, and people are like, he's not going to do it. There's no way he'll do it. And then he kept getting 40-goal seasons, breaking another record of like the most 40-point seasons of a player over 35 or something like that. I don't know. But yeah, nothing's impossible, you guys. Shit like that happens all the time. And now that those records have been broken, all of Gretzky's records are up for grabs. what is to say that these other impossible things aren't going to be broken by somebody? It's no different than the stuff in your life. Why is it so impossible to you? Question that. The more you're willing to question that and go, well, maybe it is possible, it'll become possible. Because you're the one creating the impossibility of it. So anyway, I just want to come on here and share that because it's just been on my mind of I watched history be made. Like, I remember when Ovechkin came into the league. I remember watching him a long time ago and have seen, I don't follow hockey super close anymore, but it's been in my peripheral of like, he is one of the greatest goal scorers of all time, and then here he is breaking these records, and it's just a cool example of how it doesn't matter that other people think it's impossible. It doesn't matter what even you believe is possible. That can change at any moment. And for me personally, talking to my brother about hockey, my brother was like, he's not going to break that record. There's no way. When the numbers first started, people started mentioning, well, he could do it. He's like, no, there's no way he'll do it. And I'm like, hey, he could do it. I'm like, he'll do it. And now that it's done, my brother's the first one to be like, oh yeah, all those Gretzky records are up for grabs now. And it's just funny to watch how when things happen outside of you, how quickly you're willing to change your perspective because now you have proof. Not the whole concept of manifesting and changing your mindset is to make those choices without the proof. When you first start doing it, it's hard and it's weird. I was rereading Neville, and something he said really hit me this time through reading his stuff. He was talking about how when you first start imagining something different, it's extremely uncomfortable. It's like buying a new pair of shoes that don't quite fit right, and that you have to wear them and break them in, and then they feel comfortable and like they're a part of you. And imagining something new is the same thing. It's uncomfortable. I believe the word he used was disturbing. It's disturbing, and it is. It's weird, and it's uncomfortable, and it sucks. And actually, no, I think I could find it real quick. I'm going to go find that. Let's see if we can find that paragraph from Neville, because it just is so true. Hi, everybody. If I can't find it real quick, then I will just move on, but all right, here's what Neville said. This is from Your Faith is Your Fortune. All things express their nature. As you wear a feeling, it becomes your nature. So when Neville's talking about feelings, he's talking about what you're accepting is true and what you're thinking all the time. It might take a moment or a year. It is entirely dependent upon the degree of conviction, meaning that how long it takes you to get things to feel comfortable in your mind is completely up to you. As doubts vanish, you can feel the I am this. You begin to develop the fruit or the nature of the thing you are feeling yourself to be. When a person buys a new hat or pair of shoes, he thinks everyone knows they are new. He feels unnatural with his newly acquired apparel until it becomes part of him. The same applies to the wearing of the new state of consciousness. When you ask yourself the question, how would I feel if my desire were at this moment realized, the automatic reply, until it is properly conditioned by time and use, is actually disturbing. The period of adjustment to realizing this potential of consciousness is comparable to the newness of the wearing apparel. Not knowing that consciousness is ever outputting itself in conditions around you, like Lot's wife, you continuously look back upon the problem and again become hypnotized by its seemingly naturalness. Genesis 19. That's what I've talked about like a billion times. It's all about changing, thinking about things in a new way, and choosing to do that because that's what you want things to be. And I liked that kind of analogy of it doesn't feel good when you first start doing it, but the more you do it, it starts to feel natural. Hi, Day Day. You changed my life. Thank you so much. I empowered myself so much because of you. Oh, I love hearing that. That is awesome. That was kind of my goal in starting the YouTube channel, and I love getting comments like that you guys get value out of all the stuff that I've said. Like I was kind of saying at the beginning, I haven't been doing much with my channel or all of that in a long time, but that could be changing. You guys don't have to worry about content though. I have content scheduled for like the next 2 years, so. YouTube has changed how you go live and how the lives work since I've gone live last time, and I gotta figure out what the hell I'm doing. Tips on daring to trust this law is true. I'm afraid to lie to myself. I have tested small things, but find it hard to trust it. I would start looking at what do I tell myself all the time about things, and is that my experience? You're functioning from this regardless of if you trust it or believe it's real. What you tell yourself is true is true. I had someone leave a comment on one of my videos recently that it was one word. It was nonsense. If that's what you believe, that what I'm saying is nonsense, you're completely right. And here's the thing. I'm completely right in saying what I'm saying because I believe it. That's why I come on here and say what I say, is because I believe it. But if you believe what I'm saying is nonsense, you are equally correct to me. One of us isn't lying. We are both sharing our truth. You think it's nonsense, and I think it's fact. And as long as you continue to say it's nonsense and I continue to say it's fact, we're never going to see things the same way. Because to me, it is fact. I have all the proof to back up that it's fact. And you would have all the proof to tell you that it's nonsense. The more you can see that what you tell yourself is true, you can't unsee it. And then you will trust it more because you're like, well, I have a choice. Do I look at it this way or do I look at it that way? Something that I have been playing around in my head recently, that part of why I stopped making videos, and I know you guys still see videos. I filmed so many videos in May of last year that I have spread them out to posting once a week. So it's one video one week, one short the next. I have enough content to last me until January of 2027. And that is what I have done. My stuff is scheduled out for the next 2 years almost. And I have taken a step back because after I filmed all that content and published the book, I'm like, I've said everything there is to say on this topic. There is nothing more I can fucking say. And until I have something to say, I'm not going to sit here and pretend I have stuff to say. And got to this point where I was really feeling that doing lives and answering questions and being in the comments all the time, it was, number one, it was draining the crap out of me. I did too much and I burnt myself out. But I also just am like, man, answering everybody's questions is just enabling them to come and ask me more questions. And it was a year of seeing that with myself, seeing it with other coaches, seeing it with the coach I had when I had a law of attraction coach. It's like, there's a better way to do this. And I was talking about that before. It's like, there's a better way to explain all of this stuff. And I'm starting to see that, even though I can't like completely explain it. I'm starting to see that there is a better way to explain it. And what I'm seeing in myself and in all of it is manifesting comes down to three things. Before I was calling it presence, awareness, choice, and this kind of elaborates on that concept a little bit more. The law is whatever you tell yourself is true is true. This has always been true. It'll always be true, and once you see it, you can't unsee it. If you tell yourself you can never get the job you want, you're never going to get the job you want. Because you have all these reasons that it's impossible. And if you do end up getting it, you're probably going to self-sabotage it because you have this belief system that doesn't support you having the thing that you want. But whatever you tell yourself is true, always, about everything. Number two, all that exists is right now. The more you come back to the now and are aware of what you're telling yourself is true, what is true right now, that's where you hold your power. This is where like revision starts to come into play. What am I telling myself right now? So your two things so far. What am I telling myself is true? Because whatever I tell myself is true, and all that exists is right now. And the third one is I always have a choice. In the right now, I always have a choice of what I'm going to tell myself. The more you do it, you realize it's not lying, it's a choice. I can look at things in a positive way or a negative way. That's up to me, nothing else. I can allow my current belief system or my past to dictate how I'm going to think about things. I can do that. Or I can change it and think whatever I want. Those are the only three things you have to understand when it comes to manifesting. Whatever you tell yourself is true. All that exists is right now, and I always have a fucking choice. And that's where the condensed version of it is presence, awareness, choice. Bring yourself back to the present, be aware of what you're thinking, and accept or reject it. Nope, I don't like that. I want to think this instead. And just like I was reading from Neville, the more you do it, the more comfortable you get doing it. It's a choice. It's a lifestyle. It's not, I am never going to come on here and teach like, oh, this quick fix to blah, 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 blah. Because ultimately, you may manifest some quick shit, but if you really want to change your life and keep it, you're going to have to be aware of what you're telling yourself all the time. That's how you get the big changes to happen and get them to stay in your life, is by truly changing you. And that's not just surface level changing shit. I did your course and now see penguins all the time. Of course you do. That's funny. That's really funny. I'm on here talking about Sidney Crosby, who plays for the Penguins. Penguins everywhere. I realize I make my own rules because existence itself has no meaning. We are God. Exactly. And I know how that, when you're new to this, I know how insane that sounds. And I know that a lot of people think that the shit I'm saying is like metaphoric or figuratively. It's like, no, that's a literal. The only reason things have meaning is because we've assigned meaning to it. And if you don't like the meaning, you can change it. What should I do if a family member who seems to have narcissistic tendencies constantly tries to bring me down and disrupt my momentum? I don't find it productive to engage with him, but since he's family, I can't completely ignore him either. It feels Like he's always hovering, trying to prove he's right and undermine my confidence. I'm just gonna be honest with you guys and just tell you, I'm not really wanting to go back to coaching and stuff like that and answering a lot of questions, but I am gonna be on here and I will talk about this. But I'm gonna be brutally honest with this, and if I come off as a total bitch, I don't give a fuck anymore. So, let's start with narcissism. What is it called? It's like narcissistic personality disorder is the medical term, the medical diagnosis of narcissism. So, unless you are a medical professional, you don't get to diagnose people with narcissism. I'm fucking sorry. I'm gonna say it. I'm so fucking tired of people being like, oh, this narcissist, they're hurting me. Okay, if they're a family member, you can ignore them. You can set boundaries with them. You can fucking ignore them and tell them whatever you need to tell them to keep your peace. Right now, you have no boundaries and are letting them walk all over you and then calling them a narcissist. Your peace is yours to keep. You can tell yourself whatever you want to about this family member, including that they're not a fucking narcissist. That they leave you the fuck alone, and oh my god, everything's so peaceful. And nothing destroys my momentum. So you're ignoring the 3 rules and then blaming other people for your failure. So until you pull your head out of your ass, you can expect more of that to happen, and more people are going to show up doing that exact same shit to you. What do you do when you think you're doing it right, but some things from the old story pop up? Don't give a shit. Realize presence, awareness, choice. Because forever, that is where your power is, in the now. And if old things pop up and you're going to spiral because of it, you're choosing that. You're choosing to give away your power because things don't look the way you are just thinking that they should. That to me is a big one. You need to set your rules. Like I think it was Day was saying, what are your rules? For me, anything I experience means I'm getting what I want. So if something happens and I get triggered by it, I have to remind myself, nope, I never experience anything that isn't leading me where I want to go. No, never. So somehow, some way, this is me getting what I want in the fastest, best way possible. It's choice. Presence, awareness, choice. Whatever you tell yourself is true. All that exists is now, and I always have a choice. Even spiritual gurus, they use what works for them, but what they say doesn't have to be true for everyone. We take what resonates and leave the rest. That's it. I can tell you my experience, I can tell you my perspective, but if you hear it and you're like, that doesn't work for me, then it doesn't work for you. And this is part of why I want to get away from coaching and answering questions, is like, then you guys are just, what's Sonia's answer? What's her answer? My answer may not be your answer. But I will tell you that those 3 things I've been talking about, those 3 things, that is all of it. That's always been all of it. That will always be all of it. Hi, Caroline. I'm so happy to see you live. I'm happy to be live. It's been a minute. Like I said, it's just been a minute. What if I'm just lazy because sometimes I got motivated and then I hate everything? I would go to therapy and work on that. If you can't just decide that that doesn't matter and you can be motivated and you can do it anyway, then go work through it with someone who can help you. Because all I can tell you is you're choosing in the moment that you're unmotivated and you hate things. I'll tell you right now, not every day is sunshine and rainbows for me. I have days where things fucking are a lot. My brain goes places all over the place. But one of my rules that I've decided is when my brain does that, I don't care. It doesn't matter. It only matters if I sit there and go, oh my God, this matters. This is a problem. I just watched some of your first videos and also the tarot readings. Really like them, especially the tarot readings. Thank you. That is so funny that you say that. I was literally just thinking about my tarot readings this morning. Like, man, I used to do that. I made so many videos in that first year that I was making videos on YouTube. It's crazy. It's absolutely crazy. What am I doing these days? I've living, figuring things out. There's been a lot of shit that's happened in the past year and figuring it out and being very grateful for my almost 2,000 subscribers on here that I never in a million years thought I would have. Oops. So from now on, I'm gonna take my power back, focusing on affirmations, handling my shit, leaving him alone, and improving my life. He's probably not as big a deal as I've made him in my head. And if he is, you are allowed to tell him to fuck off or whatever you need to do. Remove yourself from the situation. Just because somebody is family does not mean that they get to do whatever they're doing. That's not an excuse. And in your head, they leave you the fuck alone or they're not a problem. But you sitting here and going, oh my god, they're such a problem and they're this and blah, blah, blah. That's you choosing that. Hey, Moons! It has been a long time. What have you been up to? Long time no see. Yeah, I am doing well. It has been quite an adventure. For the first time in a long time, I'm kind of feeling like getting back into filming videos and wanted to come on here and thank everybody for getting me to I'm like one more person away from 2,000 subscribers and it's crazy. Enjoying life, doing a degree now? Nice. Congratulations. That's awesome. Thank you. It's crazy. It'll be on June 1st will be 2 years since I started my channel and I can't believe that I have 2,000 subscribers, especially after I've filmed 3 videos since May of last year. I posted them in January. The rest of the videos I'm posting I filmed them that long ago. Time ain't real. Yeah, it's not. Yeah, 2 years. Wow. And I have content posted once a week until 2027 because I was inspired to make all those videos and I did it. And then I was like, I've said everything I have to say. I don't know what I'm doing anymore. And I don't want to. So I just stopped. I thought I was going to walk away from my channel. I turned off all the comments on my channel for a few months and then was like, turn them back on. But, you know, you don't have to like interact with everybody. And if you don't want to coach people in the comments, you don't have to. And now is now. That's amazing. It is amazing. It is amazing. Life is amazing. Till 2027. Yep. January. The first week in January I need a video to post. I'm kind of just like, well, by then I'll figure it out. Or I don't, and then maybe that is just the last video I post. Whatever. It's simple. Thoughts create reality, nothing more. I don't know how long you've been on here, but I was telling everybody, I'm like, there's the 3 things, and before I was calling it presence, awareness, choice, but it's like elaborating on that. It's like the only 3 things you need to understand. Whatever you tell yourself is true is true. All that exists is right now, and you always have a choice. If you catch yourself in the now thinking shit you don't want to be true, shift it to something else. That's it. That's all it is. It applies to everything. That gets rid of all the terminology, all the everyone is you pushed out, and all the revision, and all the, I don't even know all the terms that people use anymore. All the things that I wrote an entire book about come down to those three things. That's it. That's what consciousness, which is used to create our reality, which you use to create your reality with. Yeah. What are you aware of? Are the thoughts in your head showing you is the outside and the inside the same? Then you just prove to yourself it's working. And it's not even that it's working, that's how it works. We look at this as being like, sorry for the spelling errors. I got excited. That's okay. I got you. Yeah. We look at this as such a like, or at least I know I looked at it as so woo-woo and woo when I first started getting into it. And the more I do it, it's like, no, this is just how you function. This is how you've always functioned. You just never thought to question it. You never thought to question what you were telling yourself. Yep, dominant thoughts to be exact. Yep. And it's not the dominant thought as in, if I can say this to myself for 24 hours straight, then it'll happen for sure. It's, I'm living my life and I'm going to keep coming back to this because this is what I want to be true. You're doing it anyway. You're thinking all day anyway. You always have an opinion. Do you like this opinion? Yes or no? Like, that's it. Hi. You agree, Moons? My degree is going working. I'm always a firm. I absorb information instantly. Also, I healed my ADHD with water, so yeah, nice. Nice. I just signed on and missed what you have to say. Do you do lives often? I haven't done live in almost a year. So, I don't know if I do lives often. I used to. I used to go live a lot, but we will see. We will see. Do I do tarot readings anymore? I haven't done tarot readings in a long time. I stopped doing that it was pretty early on in my channel. Well, I hope you do. I like the way you explain things. Oh, thank you, Regina. I like how you do what you like, Sonia. Many creators feel pressure to show all the time. I had that going on, and then it just kind of ate away at my mental health. I'm just going to be honest. I don't even know. Like that, because it's been so long since I've really been doing draining. Yes, it was so draining. I was so burnt out and done. I don't know. It was something with having filmed all those videos and publishing the book. After that, I was just so done. I can't explain to other that I was just done. I'm like, I don't want to do this anymore. I don't care anymore. And I just needed a break. And I'm like, if I don't give myself a break, I'm going to go crazy. And I'm never going to figure this out if I try to force something that's not there. And then there was that kind of guilt of like, but you should be doing things and you should be doing this. And It's like, well, I have enough content. I'm still posting. I'm still, relevant, if you want to use that word, on YouTube. But I don't have to be doing all of this. And that has been a huge thing I've had to work through in the past year, is just like, if you don't want to do this anymore, you don't have to. You didn't start it to prove anything. You wanted to do it. I remember going up to Colorado right before my grandpa passed away and being like, you need to make a choice. Are you going to do YouTube or are you not? And it needs to be the final decision. And the way I made that decision was being like, okay, if I'm on my deathbed and I don't do this, am I going to regret it? And the answer was yeah. What's the harm in trying? That was why I started. I started telling myself I'm a YouTuber, and then the rest unfolded, and then I got myself completely overwhelmed, which I see as a pattern within myself in a way that I used to view the world, and I have had to change a lot about how I view the world. It has gotten, I'm no longer changing superficial shit about my mindset because I know I control all of it. And it has been a wild adventure. It's too much exposure. This is too much energy exuded putting yourself out there. Yeah, and I'll admit, a lot of it was my fault. Like, I was the one who was like, I'm going to post every day. That was me. Like, I chose to do that. But at the same time, looking back, it's like, at that time, it felt good to do it that way. This is where that presence has been big in my life, of that ebb and flow, and like, just because it felt good in the past doesn't mean it still has to feel good. And if it no longer feels good, it's okay to walk away from it. It's okay to take a break. It's okay to do something different. I'm allowed to do that. So, Nia, have you had any out of the ordinary experience? I had a cotton bud manifest out of thin air when I ran out of it, and it appeared after I complained and walked off, only to later see an extra one on my bed. Laugh out loud. I've had those experiences. I was actually thinking about some of them the other day, and they're just, some of them haven't been, some of them are like that, where it's like, that was not there. Where did it come from? I was cleaning one day and I set something down and it disappeared and I could not find it. I looked everywhere. I moved everything around like 75 times and I decided it would show up. And then the next time I cleaned, it was on the shelf behind some things. And I'm like, I took everything off of the shelf like 7 times. It disappeared and then reappeared. But I did go to, it'll show up. I do that all the time. I lose shit all the time. And I'm like, it'll show up. And then it does. And it's always in like some really weird place where I'm like, no, that, like, why would that be here? Why would that be here? Oh my God, I had it with a 10-pound note. It went missing. Consciousness, that's why, yeah. That to me is the biggest thing when that shit happens, is to remind myself, no, it was because you shifted your consciousness. Because it's so easy. I don't know if I've ever told this story on here, but when I was on TikTok, I wish society accepted that more often. I agree. When I was on TikTok, I got up one day and was like, I'm going to film videos and then respond to comments. And I sat down and I was like, crap, I left my headband across the room and I don't want to go get it because I'm being lazy. And I had a little hissy fit about it. And I was like, whatever, I'll just answer comments and then film videos after because it's going to take me like an hour to respond to comments. So I did the comments, and as I'm sitting there, I did not get up. I did not move. I did not get my headband, nothing. My headband was across the room. I had a fit about it. My headband was on my head. And I felt it there. You know how when you first put on a headband, you're like, or a hat, and it's weird? I'm like, what is on my head? And I pulled it off my head, and I'm like, no, that was across the room. I had to remind myself that no, you are correct. You are not crazy. You did not have that headband. Just like when my mug, which I know I've told that story, my mug was on the counter when it was upstairs. I had I had to remind me, no, you're not crazy. My favorite one is still Precious's lump that disappeared at the vet, and the vet was like, "We can't find it." My awareness is making spelling mistakes. That is all. It's all good. Yeah, it that the. I remember the cup in your dog. Yeah, I've told those stories. I don't think I've ever told the headband story. But right after that happened, I was talking to somebody and they're like, "Yeah, I had a similar experience where they had lost a ring at their friend's house." And they're like, "It was gone. I don't know where it ended up." And then years later, after they had moved and stuff, they found it on the floor in front of their nightstand one morning. And they're like, "Where the fuck did this come from?" Sonia, have you tried to manifest a lottery jackpot? No. I no. I've done a lot of stuff with money, but not specifically lottery. A lot of people have a lot of stories on money appearing out of thin air and in their bank accounts. Yes, my necklace story is how I believed in the impossible. Yeah, I've heard a lot of people with like lost jewelry and shit like that that just like shows up out of nowhere. Grateful for your content. Oh, thank you, Raw. I lost my necklace at my old workplace and it reappeared in my coat pocket. I remember at one point thinking that those stories, it's like these people are nuts. There's no way. And then it started happening 7 months later. Yeah, you lost it, and 7 months later it showed up. When I left too, of course. Yeah, I was like, these people are nuts. Like what? And then I started to experience it for myself, and I'm like, I'm nuts. And it's like, no, I know what I know what just happened. I know that headband was across the room. There was no head. I did not touch a headband, and it ended up on my head. It becomes your new normal. It does become your new normal. It absolutely, absolutely becomes your new normal. But you have to choose it to be normal. Like I said, when those things happened, I had to go, yeah, no, you're not crazy. You're not forgetful. You're not like you were all upset about it and you moved on and my SP has blocked me and I tell myself that he hasn't blocked me. Will something happen that makes him not block me anymore? Do you think that these are different realities or what is your view? Honestly, when it comes to the realities and the states of consciousness and everyone's talking about the same thing. all the way throughout human history, we have all been talking about the same thing. We're just talking about our perspective of what is happening. You sitting there and telling yourself, so I don't know if you're on the beginning, but it comes down to a presence awareness choice, or whatever you tell yourself is true is true. All that exists is now, and you have a choice in what you're going to tell yourself. Right now, you're choosing to focus on how your SP blocked you and whatever is the underlying stuff that's coming up because of that. You're accepting all of that is true, and then you experience that shit. You need to take a look at what you believe about the situation, about your SP, about yourself in regards to relationships, and about everything when it comes to relationships. Why is this happening? Why do I believe that my SP wouldn't want me? Because he blocked me, so clearly, or she blocked me. Where is all of this coming from? All of that belief system has to change if you guys are going to be happy together. Some people can do that by just using one affirmation, we're so happy together, that negates everything. Some people need to work on some other things, but whatever you tell yourself is true. And you're going to be proven to be right in whatever you tell yourself. Sonia, the headband story. Wow. Yeah. I don't think I have told that on social media before, but yeah, it blew my mind. I was like, that I was just upset about that this wasn't on my head. I know it was across the room and now it's here. Like, it was one of those moments that I've had a few moments where like it kind of feels like a whirlwind, like it feels like a shift. And I don't know if that was just because it's like all of a sudden now I feel like there's something on my head when there shouldn't have been, but like I've had a few of those moments where it's just it kind of feels like someone pulls you. I don't know, it's fucking weird. Hi Sonia, how to manifest appearance change as I see myself in the mirror the same way. Then you don't understand the basis of what manifestation is. Whatever you tell yourself is true. Not what I see is true. What I'm experiencing is true. I remember this was an old video. I think I remade it, but I did a short somewhere where I'm like, you're not a hockey announcer. You are not sitting on the sidelines watching the game and telling yourself what you're seeing. You're not a commentator. If you go into the mirror and you look at yourself and you commentate what you're seeing, you're telling yourself that that's what's true. Whatever you tell yourself is true. All that exists is right now. So right now you're going and telling yourself that, completely negating your power, which is the choice to tell yourself something different. You're going to go look at yourself in the mirror and you're going to tell yourself what you wish were true. Oh my God, I am so gorgeous. My nose is perfect. My eyes are perfect. My hair's perfect. My weight's perfect. I'm perfect. I love the way I look. I'm amazing. Denying your senses, ignoring the 3D, stop commentating the fucking play, and choose something different. That's it. You're going to stop bitching, whining, moaning, and complaining. I'm a flight attendant, and one time someone came for water, and I poured it for them, dropped the cup, and started digging for it in the cart and found it, but hold on a second here. I'm a flight attendant. Someone came up for some water. I poured it for them, dropped the cap. I'm like, I thought you said drop the cup. I'm like, what? Dropped the cap and started digging for it in the cart and found it. Put it back on the bottle where there was already one on it. Are you serious? So you found the cap, you drop the cap, you're holding the bottle of water, you drop the cap, and you go to put it back on, and there was one already on it. I'm telling you, that shit it happens to us all the time, and we just, it's weird when that stuff happens. And I expect that stuff to happen, and I still go, what the fuck just happened? Yes, very serious. I absolutely believe you, Regina. And I'm sure you were just like, read a story about a lady having lost her sunglasses on her head. It was on Reddit. I think people can't experience that their thoughts create your reality. Society, weird people, especially religion, that sometimes something outside of you creates your reality. Yeah, people, they can't expect, not accept. Or accept, not expect. Yeah. It before I really started to understand this stuff, I felt so powerless in everything. It was always, well, I hope this happens, but we'll wait and see. And until I start seeing some difference that makes me really believe it, I'm not gonna, I don't have any power in this situation. I think appearance is a good example. Honestly, I have struggled with my weight like my whole life, and I can look back now at what I used to think about my weight, and it's like, oh, that explains all of that. Even when I was at my skinniest, I would still complain about the way I looked. When I was doing all the things, I was eating good and working out all the time, and I never changed the narrative in my head about it. And then eventually I would stop doing all the things and gain the weight back, and it's like, oh, shocker. You always look at yourself and think you're fat, and I'm not doing enough to be skinny, and blah, blah, blah. I'm never going to be skinny. Even if I am skinny and everybody tells me I'm skinny, if I tell myself I'm fat, that is my truth. That is my experience. You have to change you, regardless of anything else, first. Subconscious mind has to prove your thoughts to be true. That's it. Laugh out loud. Subconscious mind. Yeah. Your subconscious, you have to be proven right. That's it. Your food has no calories. Abdullah would drink without it affecting his health. But I warn people, don't try these unless you're in the right mental state. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I agree. If that's what you're going to be like, well, let's see what happens, that everything that you eat is healthy for you. Yep. Those are huge mindset shifts. That negates a whole lot of beliefs that you've had for your whole life about a lot of things. And those are belief systems that I have started working on, and I see it working. Last year I was like, I want to be in the best shape I've ever been in. And I wasn't working out. I hadn't worked out in a long time. I didn't have any desire to work out. I'm like, I don't want to work out. But I'm like, I want to be in the best shape I've ever been in. And I made that decision. And like 2 weeks later, I'm like, I want to work out. And I want to work out like every day. And I'm like, okay. And I just went along with it. And it was such a huge contrast to where I was. And I'm just like, I want to work out. And I want to work out right now. And I want to work out. And I accepted it. I didn't fight it. I didn't question it. I'm like, I'm just in my fit bitch era. I just want to be, I want to work out all the time. And now, almost a year later, I'm still working out all the time and have just become the person who does that shit. And with that, I've was working on the mindset about appearance and stuff, and like that shit is it works. And I see now why I was always the problem and why my mindset was the fucking problem. And it's hard to explain. Like, there was a lot of shit that went into that, but all along I had the choice to think something differently, and I never did. I can't tell you how many times I started working out, and what would happen is I would do it for a while, and sometimes it was like it was like a year or more, and I would lose all kinds of weight, and then I would get to a point where it just didn't feel like it was enough. Like, I'm not doing enough, I can't do more. A big part of it was the I'm not good enough and I don't do enough. Those are my two. I don't just have the I'm not good enough, I have the I don't do enough. I'm doing as much as I can. It's not getting me where I want to go. So what's the point in even doing it? And I had to change that mindset. No, I get up and I work out, and that's enough. The end. And it pops up sometimes. It popped up recently. I started doing some harder workouts, and my triggered bitch reaction was, "Oh my god, I can't do this. What's the point in even doing it?" And I was like, "Calm down. That's stupid. The whole reason you started doing this was to move your body and be in better shape. It had nothing to do with reaching a goal or like any of that. And if it, so what? It's harder, okay? If you keep doing it, it'll get easier. It's a good thing that you see it as a challenge. Like changing that mindset. It's that's why I throw out everything else. It's all just about presence, awareness, choice. I'd been working out for months and all of a sudden was super triggered and was like wanting to quit because I was like freaking out about bullshit. I had to bring myself back and make a choice about it. Working out is good for mental health as well as makes you feel light and you look great. Sonia, oh, thanks, Moons. I want my hair to grow 5 inches. That's one goal of mine this year. Every day, I'm growing my hair out too, and I'm grateful it kind of grows back in the braids. But I want my hair to be long now, which it will be. I've always believed my hair grows super fast, so. Hair grows super fast. I love my hair. It's perfect. Sorry for that. It's all good. All good. But yeah. I've been on here for almost an hour. I didn't know. I honestly. I got on here because I wanted to thank everybody for getting me to 2,000 subscribers. And I genuinely am grateful for you guys. It is mind boggling to me. And especially when I started and was looking at, you know, the getting your channel monetized with 1,000 people, I'm like 1,000 subscribers. I know I've talked about this. 1,000 people. Oh my god, 1,000. I remember starting and being like, if I could just get one subscriber, just one. And I did the first day I posted on here and was like, okay, well, maybe I could get 5, maybe 10, maybe 25. Now I'm at 2,000. Crazy stuff. But I wanted to come on here and talk about impossible becoming possible. And thank you guys for that. And it's been fun. You can literally manifest anything. I agree. I want to lose weight. I made the decision that I'm 155 pounds because that feels good. Nice. I work with the worst fucking headache. Oh, start telling yourself you don't have a headache. My headaches always go away so fast. I drank this water and it will get rid of my headache. Impossible doesn't exist unless you think it does. Yep, anything you desire to have in your real life, you can have. Yep. Yep. I don't know how many of you are on. I'll do that. Yeah, do it. And just keep telling yourself, I don't have a headache. Why would I have a headache? Placebos work, people. I remember when I was working one at some place after I had found Sammy Ingram. I remember like being fucking tired. And I'm like, I am so tired. I don't think I'm gonna make it through the day. And I caught myself, nope, nope. I have so much fucking energy. I feel amazing. I have so much energy. I have so much energy. And within like 10 minutes, I was like, man, I actually do have some energy. And then later in the day, I'm like, I can't believe I was telling myself I don't have energy. I'm like bouncing off the damn walls. I didn't die. That's all I told myself. Yes, placebo. But yeah, no, I'm really glad I can't got on here. Everything's always perfect. Of course, as I'm hitting 2,000 people, when I stopped going live last year, I'm like, well, when I hit 2,000, I'll probably go live again. Like maybe I'll at least come on here and thank everybody for getting me to that point. And this past weekend, I'm a huge hockey fan. I was talking about this at the beginning, but I'm a huge NHL fan, and the whole time I've watched hockey, it's always been how no one will ever beat Wayne Gretzky's records. Well, one of those big ones got broken this weekend. Alexander Ovechkin scored his 900th or not 900th, 895th goal, surpassing the great one in the same amount of games in which Wayne Gretzky set that record. The impossible is possible. What do you think about spirits? I think whatever you tell yourself about spirits is true is true. Hi, Vivian. It has been a long time since I've been on here. I think they only exist if you think they do. I agree. I do not think that there is anything that isn't, it's real if you think it is. Especially when it comes to the spiritual stuff. Curses and karma too. If you believe in that, you're gonna have proof to why you believe that stuff. Yeah, I don't believe in spirits, ghosts, supernatural, etc. Laugh out loud. See? And you have all the reasons to back that up. I don't think I ever finished reading it. And I don't have any desire to go back to reading it, but I was reading the Kabbalion, and in there it says all truths are only half truths. And I think I picked that up just to read that line because that just really made me realize, oh yeah, whatever you tell yourself is true is true. And if someone else is holding the opposite opinion of you, they are also correct. You are both correct. You are both equally correct. You have all the reasons to believe what you believe, and they have all the reasons that they believe what they believe. And you can fight about it, or you can get to understand why they believe what they believe. Doesn't mean you have to believe what they believe. We're all here having our own experience. Some of my family do, and they think it can hurt them. And I told them it's just a belief in them. Generational curses too. If you believe things can hurt you, you're going to have proof of that. Do you want proof of that? I don't want proof of that. So many limiting beliefs in society. Hey, Sonia, God bless you. Oh, thank you. Darius? Darius? I'm not sure how you pronounce your name. Bless you too. Oh man, I have been on here for an hour. I was not expecting to come on here for more than like 10 minutes. I said it right, yay. So let me know if you have anything last minute comments, questions, I guess. Then I'm going to jump off of here. But like I said, thank you guys so much for all the support in the past almost 2 years. This was fun. I may start going live again. Like I said, it's just been It's been a lot. It was good to see you too, Moons. You're very special. God knows your good heart and 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 your intentions of your heart take care. Oh, thank you, Darius. Hope to see you soon. Read through Kabbalion again. You will be so amazed at what pops up at you when you see it with different eyes. I read often, and it astonished me what comes to you. Oh, yeah. I feel the same way about Neville. I don't know why, but Neville's the person I keep going back to. And every time I reread Neville, there's something else that pops up at me that's like, wait, I missed that. Where was that sentence last time? I just got here, but bye. Well, hi and bye. Yeah, that rereading things or rewatching things or I had that experience. I've been watching a crap ton of movies. My goal for 2025 is to watch a movie every single day, to watch at least 365 movies this year. And I rewatched the original Jurassic Park, and I'm like, man, I remember seeing this as a child. Like, I remember when that movie came out and seeing it in the theater. And now, as an adult, I know I've seen it throughout my life, and I've seen it maybe 10 years ago, but watching it now, it's like, as you people would logical people would be like, well, as you get older, and it's like, no, as your view of the world changes, things are different to you. They just are. Rereading the same books or watching the same video or watching the same movie, you get something different out of it every time you go back to it because you are different. Consciousness creates reality. There is no fiction. I agree. Unless you're telling yourself that there is fiction. Oh, that's not real. And you telling yourself that that's not real, going back to like spirits. That's what you're going to tell yourself, and that will be your experience. If you don't want to experience spirits, then they're not real. They don't exist. If you tell yourself, I'm never going to have any money, you can't be surprised when you never have money. Your thoughts are your physical experiences. Mm-hmm, mm-hmm, mm-hmm. And that's always true. And it always comes back to being present and making a choice. Man, I am so done with the bullshit gimmicky stuff that is talked about on this topic, and for me it is about constantly being aware of myself to the best of my ability and making choices. And the more I do that, the less I freak out about stuff and spiral in things, and just overall my mental health is better because I know that things are going to be okay. On my money journey, I caught myself, and I was doing this for months, and I was like, "Oh my god, you are so fucking stupid." But I also just laughed at it so hard. I'm like, "This is so funny," but I like kind of hate myself, but I can't hate myself. But that explains a lot of shit. So I caught myself telling myself, "I don't have the money, but I will." So like bills would be coming due, and it's like, "I don't have the money, but I will." And I was like, dumbass, maybe the reason you never have any money is because you focus on how you don't have it, but you will. Because every fucking time, every single fucking time, something would happen and the money would show up to pay the bill. But I'm like, why don't I have any money? It's like, because you fucking tell yourself that all the time. It was so funny. But I was also like, damn it. And I'm like, oh, how much more proof do you need that your thoughts are creating your experiences with everything? I was like, God damn it. Yep, that was me. That's what I've been telling myself. It's literal. Yeah. It was a self-soothing mechanism. It worked because I didn't have the money, but I would, and I did. But was that the experience I wanted to have? No. Thoughts create reality. Once you see it, you can't unsee it. You're like, oh shit. That is exactly, I mean, exactly what I was telling myself was my exact experience. Exactly. There would be like enough money to keep my bank account open and get the bill paid. And then I was right back to where I started till the next bill was due. Well, the money will show up. I don't have it now, but I'll have it. And it would show up. And it was like 3 or 4, maybe 5 months of that before I caught it and went, fuck. But it's working perfectly. Just tell yourself that and the rest will follow. Real life is your dominant thought made physical. Yeah. About anything and everything. You can keep, if you want to be logical and you want to keep the societal beliefs about whatever, you're still going to experience what you believe about that stuff. But if you want to, you can question all of it. And you can think whatever you want to. I think it sounds so easy, but it is. Subconscious will prove you right. You're always right. Yeah. So I'm like, you can't, I can't unsee it now. And the more I see it, it's like, oh, yeah. Someone says, nope, that's not how life works. I let them keep that belief. Yeah, that was a big one for me too. It's like, okay, just because other people believe that doesn't mean I have to. Like, you can keep that over there. That can be your truth. If that's how you want to function and you want to exist, that's your choice. I don't choose that. I don't want to choose that. I'm good. It's their thoughts creating that. It's their thoughts creating the proof of that. You have a belief system that you're filtering all the information through. If you don't question, you question it by asking why. Why do I think this? Why do I believe this? Where is this coming from? Why? If that's the only thing you have to ask yourself. Why? And do I like this? Yes or no? But it's your thoughts creating that irony. Yep. Beliefs come from physical experience. Yep. But your thoughts are a choice. You can think a thought without having any physical proof that it's true. That's where that money example, I had my foot halfway in reality and halfway not. I didn't have any reason to believe that money was going to show up, but it did. But I was holding myself to what was already true of I don't have the money, but I will. The lie. You repeat a thought consistently, then once you see it, you believe it. Yep. No need for feelings and beliefs, just the understanding that your thoughts create. Yeah. I agree. And the one thing I will say that I see a lot of people get caught up on that kind of thought though is like, oh my God, now every thought I think is gonna manifest. And it's like, it's not, it's the things you come back to the most. My self-soothing when I was thinking about money is I don't have it, but I will. That became my dominant thought about money. And then it was proven to me to be true over and over and over and over again until I went, wait, don't say that. Don't do that. Agreed. Could you instruct me on how to manifest seeing a specific number, for instance, 222, just to improve my confidence? Thanks. Just imagine seeing 2222 everywhere. I see 2222 everywhere. I see it everywhere. Oh my God, it's everywhere. It's annoying the crap out of me. It's everywhere. So whether that's a visual or just telling yourself, just however you're sitting there thinking, I want to see this, or um yeah, like I want to see this. You see it. Basically, in your head, you either see it as an image, you tell yourself in words, imagine yourself telling somebody else about it. That's where all the techniques come from. It's just a personal preference. You can go back. Moons will attest to this because I remember you calling it out before. Or you said something that made me see it, but I'm like, I see the number 7-Eleven constantly. Like it's everywhere. And we were on a live, I used to do lives at night where I am, and Moon said something about the time, and my vision went up to the time on my phone, and it was 7-Eleven. I'm like, yeah, I see that number fucking everywhere. All the time. You're welcome. You can change past grades. You can change past grades. I've never done that before. Yes. It was the subscriber count. The subscribers count to the 999. I believe that. I'm back to that 999 unless it's changed since I've gotten on here, but yeah, it has been a long, crazy past couple years. Um, yeah. It has been crazy. Um, yeah. A lot of unexpected things, a lot of crazy things, a lot of oh, we were talking about those like crazy manifestations that um the unexpected ones, like my headband. Hi. Just think as if tell this to the audience. Telling this to the audience in the live. Just think as if you want it, you have it. It happens all the time. This is how it is now. Um One of the crazier things that happened last year, which Moons would remember this too. Remember, so it wasn't last December, but the December before, I took my dog to the vet. I took Precious to the vet, and they're like, she has liver cancer, but it probably won't end up being a big deal. She's fine. Well, last August, it was August 1st, I took her to the vet. She was having problems eating, like she wasn't wanting to eat, and they were like, she her tumor on her liver's bigger, and we can put her on some steroid, but she probably has weeks to live. And I was just like, no. No. Her birthday's in November, and she's gonna still be here in November. No, she's good. We put her on the steroids, and she turned into a puppy, and she would not stop eating. She was eating so much food that we had to contain how much food she was eating. We had to lower it because she was like making herself sick. Because the vet was like, as long as she eats, let her eat as much as she wants. And she just like would not stop eating. And that few weeks the vet thought she had turned into 4 months. I had her 4 more months, where most of the time I wasn't even worried about her being sick or that she may not have much longer, because I was able to get on top of my mindset about it. And I got 4 more months with my puppy dog before she did she went downhill real fast, and we had to put her to sleep because I knew that was what was best for her. But man, that was like one of the craziest. I remember just being like, man, I get to have this amazing experience with her because I know how to stay on top of my fucking mindset. Old me, that wouldn't have been old me. Precious is in a better place. I know she's in the right place. I think that, just like with everything else, death is whatever you tell yourself that it is. She's still with you. Oh, yeah, she definitely is. I think she came to visit Jax earlier today in the form of a giant cat jumping in the yard, so. There is nothing that is exempt from your opinion being what is true, including about death, including about that whole experience with Precious, include all of it. It is whatever I tell myself it is. Everyone's reality is different, then the way you see someone is different from how they experience themselves. Is it true? The Moon says, yep, that's 100% true. I mean, think about it. You know those people that, like, they may be really, really smart. And everyone is always telling them, oh my God, you're so smart. Oh my God, you're so smart. And they have all the grades and all the things that are like, oh my God, you're so smart. And then they're like, yeah, no, I'm not smart. Why would you think I'm smart? Or pretty or whatever. Like, those people that, like, everyone disagrees with what they are. When they tell you that, that's what they believe about themselves. That is their experience. Death is whatever you tell yourself it is. Very profound. I mean, think about it. None of us have lived to tell the experience of death. People have near-death experiences, but those are also kind of based on what they're telling themselves that they are. Like, what they believe, oh my God, this is what happened, and it's all an assumption. Can we say that we are in different parallel reality? That's what you're doing when you tell yourself something that is not currently you're experiencing physical proof of. If you're single and you're telling yourself you're married, you're thinking from a reality in which you are married, or from a state of consciousness, as Neville would have put it. An experience, a truth, an assumption. If you're assuming you're single, you're making that assumption based off of the experiences that you've had or are having. You can just as easily assume something different. And then you're going to start getting the proof that that's what's true. This is such a weird example. Okay, so back to I really was going to get off of here. Now I've been on here like another half an hour, but I'm having fun with you guys. So I'm going to watch 400 movies this year because I'm a maniac. I watched these movies on Netflix called Extraction. There's two of them, Extraction 1 and Extraction 2 with Chris Hemsworth. And it's about, I guess it's like military, I don't know, but he works like special ops to go in and extract people from like kidnapping situations. So the first one's about a kid who's kidnapped from he's a mob, his dad's a mob boss, and the other mob, competitive mob, goes in and kidnaps him, so they send in this guy to go get him back. And part of the character development of this character is they talk about how he has an ex-wife and his 6-year-old son died of cancer. And when his son was sick, he chose to serve in the military and do a third uh, tour of duty instead of staying with his son. So when the kid that he goes in to save is like, "Oh my God, you're so brave and so, heroic and whatever," he's like, "No, I'm not. No, I'm not." His perspective is that he is a total piece of shit because when him, he fucking left. And I watching this movie, knowing what I know, I'm like, man, what a shitty fucking perspective to hold. I knew nothing about these movies. I just found them on Netflix and I'm like, I'm watching 365 movies minimum this year, so I just got to watch something. And I'm like, that is such a shitty perspective. And then knowing that as far as science can tell us, kids up until the age of like 7, 8 don't really have the cognitive ability to think for themselves. They base all of their assumptions off of what's happening around them. It's not until they get a little bit older that they start to question things. And I'm like, that kid, there's no way that kid was old enough to make the assumption that dad left, because that was his assumption. I'm a shitty person because the last thing my kid remembers of me is me leaving him. And it's like, there's no way in hell that that's what that kid thought. If you're in the military and all your kid knows is you being in the military, that's not the assumption that they have of you. But that was the assumption that that character had of himself. He's like, oh my God, I'm a piece of shit because I left my kid. And that. So you get to the second movie, and it was like, oh my God, I fucking knew it. I was right. I'm like, there's no way that kid thought that. There's no way that kid thought that. So in the second one, he's dealing with his ex-wife's family, and they have like one 5-minute conversation. And they're like, she's like, he didn't think that of you. He thought you were the bravest, heroic person in the world. And it made him so brave because his dad was brave. He went through all of his treatments and death like a fucking champ because of what he thought of you. Yet this character carried around all of this guilt because of his perspective of things that wasn't even true. Your perspective is your experience. It always has been, it always will be. Whatever you tell yourself is true is true. Thoughts is above magic and witchcraft too. I believe that's why magic and witchcraft work. If you believe that doing that stuff works, it does. You're right. There are also people who say the most powerful witches are the ones who don't have to cast the spells because they do it all mentally. It's all the same shit. We've all been talking about all the people throughout the ages have been talking about the same shit. They just talk about it differently. Witchcraft placebo. Exactly. I cast that spell, so this will happen. The end. All the religions and all the ceremonies that people have, they believe that shit worked. You don't need to do anything external. I agree. It's the thoughts that make it work. Same shit, different font, laugh out loud. Pretty much. Believe people equals a thought you accept as true. I agree with that. I think that the true belief though, comes from when you experience it. Assumption equals a thought you think, the thoughts you think are true. All the same thing in different words. Yeah. I think that the beliefs are the things that I believe this and I'm not questioning it. You can question a belief. You can change a belief like that. I've had those experiences where I was thinking about that recently. I don't remember what it was, but I'm like, man, that belief sure changed real fast. I used to believe this and now I believe this. And it changed. It wasn't like a whole process of getting it to change, it just changed. Yep, that's my experience too. And a lot of people think that they have to believe before they physically experience. That's why they give up. Yeah. They think it's too good to be true. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Absolutely. Oh my God. I can't tell you how many people, but I don't believe it. I don't know if I believe it. I can't believe it. When I started telling myself I don't have the money, but I will, I didn't believe it. But I knew that if I told myself that the money would show up, that it would, and then it did. And then eventually I caught myself and I'm like, is this the story I want to be true about money? It's like, no. Too good to be true is just a belief. I also tell myself too good to be true doesn't exist for me. Everything is exactly, everything is how I want it to be, period. Yeah. And that's a choice. When you catch yourself, another reason people quit is because they get stuck in those thoughts that just come up, right? Well, that would be too good to be true. I can't get rid of the thought that it would be too good to be true. It's like the thought that it's too good to be true can exist there. It can be there. You can have it. You just decide, okay, but that doesn't matter anymore. I'm the exception to that. And by doing that enough, it'll eventually go away. I noticed, at least before, it was easier for me to believe the negative versus positive just based on past conditioning. Now I'm way more open to the positive stuff. Oh yeah. Absolutely. Absolutely. I remember reading a book a long time ago about that. It was like, I want to say it was written in the 90s, but somebody took over, it was like they took over some head of psychology and they were like, or psychiatry, I don't remember which one, but they were questioning that. They're like, do we really have a negativity bias, or is optimism something you can learn? Like, do you have to be pessimistic? And it's called Learned Optimism, I think is the name of the book. I couldn't tell you the author. But what they found is that optimism is a learned skill. You can learn to be more optimistic. And I had that exact same experience. My brain always went to the negative. And my brain may still go to the negative, but now I question it. Like, do I want that to be true? Is that really true? It but it is that it starts with that choice of being like, I don't want to believe in the negative anymore. I don't want to be that person anymore. And I know there's a lot of people who have had that experience. I was listening to a podcast yesterday and they were talking about that same thing of how they're like, I used to just always go to the negative and now I can't stand that shit and don't want to be around it anymore. It's like, I don't either. Something that's important, everything we do works. Always tell yourself everything I do works. Being negative feels awful. Your thoughts create your emotions, your body too. I agree. The people who want to come at me and be like, "Oh, but your emotions are the key." It's like, "Okay, but you can't have an emotion without first being aware of something, which means you thought about it in some way." I have gotten to the point now where I can lose myself in imagination and create all kinds of feelings, good or bad, and I'll catch myself and be like, "Oh, the reason you feel that way is because you've been thinking and imagining that shit." Shocker. My emotions legit come from me thinking about something laugh out loud. That's my experience, Vivian, too. No, I don't have an emotion and then start thinking about it. It's like, oh yeah, no, I've been thinking about that, and no wonder I'm anxious, or no wonder I'm this, or and it goes with the good, the good, positive, and the negative emotions. And if I stop thinking about the negative emotion or distract myself from something negative, guess what happens? It changes. Shocker. If people are honest with themselves, they will realize, I don't think they notice because their thoughts are automatic laugh out loud. Yeah. Yeah. That's step one, is starting to become aware. What am I thinking all the time? What is a thought? Have you even questioned that? I know I've said this before, but I never I remember doing visualization stuff like at school and whatever, and I never understood. I didn't understand. I'm like, I don't understand what you mean visualize this stuff. And it wasn't until I had a coworker that was like, man, I had the weirdest conversation with my family where she found out that her and her dad have like 4K imaginal acts. Like they can imagine and visualize stuff in 4K. Her stepmom saw like flickers and pictures of things, and her brother saw nothing. Her brother has aphantasia. And it's like, I never thought about that until you had this conversation with me. And then, holy crap, now I'm like, I don't get images. But as I've played in my imagination and have learned to imagine things and just play with things in my head, I can get images. Are they like clear images? Not always. But I understand that's not even the point. It's about where's your focus? What are you accepting as true? Nope, I've never questioned what a thought is. I think it's really interesting to meditate and just be like, oh, all of these things are thoughts. All of the stuff that comes up in my head is just a thought. And I can let it go. Or I can harp on it or build on it. It's a choice. Also, manifestation is instant and waiting is just a belief. Time delay is a belief. Yes. The 3D is a mirror. I agree. Would you visualize moving with the movers and packing, or the end where you end up? I would visualize the end where you end up. Like it is a done deal and you are happy in your place. But that's just what I personally would do. And if you need to visualize or play with like it kind of in steps, like I'm packing up all my stuff, imagine that, and then when that feels comfortable, the movers are coming to get it. I guess it would depend on if you have a place that you're like, I know where I'm moving to. If you don't know where you're moving to, I would get clear on where do you want to live? What does it look like? What are the things that are worrying you about the move? And then that's why Neville would say go to the end. If Abdullah, it's not even Neville, it was Abdullah. What did Abdullah tell Neville? You are in Barbados. If you are in Barbados, you're not worried about how you got there. If you live in your new place, you're not worried about all the bullshit that got you there. Sonny, why do you think people don't know this knowledge often? All I can speak from is my experience, because I don't want to get into like conspiracy theories, because conspiracy theories are only conspiracy theories if you believe in that idea, right? I think it's just I don't know that it's intentional. It just your entire life you are filtering your experience through what you've experienced before. Right? When we're born, we don't have a choice but to be dependent on the outside world. We can't feed ourselves or bathe ourselves or clothe ourselves or give ourselves shelter. We're completely dependent on the people around us. And if we don't get those things, if we don't receive those things, we die. Right? If you don't give love to a child, they don't feel physical touch, they will die even if they're being fed. We need that outside of us to take care of us. And then as we get older, it is not ever taught to us enough to break that habit. We have that habit, and that's how we're functioning through everything. And then we just, like I was saying before, until you're a little bit older, it seems like our brains do not hold the capacity to question things. And then by the time you do start questioning things, you have this whole belief system and this whole identity and your whole personality that is just who you are. And then we're taught that, well, that's just who you are. That's how shit is. I do think that part of it comes from we're trying to have a society, and you're trying to, have some kind of order where we have 8 billion or however many people are on the planet. But even knowing this stuff, I didn't understand this stuff, but it was me hitting rock bottom in my life that made me go, I have to do something differently. And when I found manifesting, I knew it was the answer, but it took me a long time to get to where I understood it and could truly apply it in my life. And now I apply it in bigger and bigger ways because I understand it, because I have the proof to back it up, because I believe in myself and I trust myself. I think part of the people say it all the time, it's like we come here to forget our power. I think that this is a game. We come here to play the game. And what better way to set the game up to forget than be put into a situation where you have to rely on the outside world, and your thing to remember is, oh, it's all internal. I think it's intentional. I have conspiracy theories on this. Yeah, I do too, but like if you believe those conspiracy theories, you're going to get proof that they're true. Yes, facts. And yeah, I'm going to try an experiment. My favorite mug broke, and I want it to manifest another appearing out of thin air. There you go. Also saw a story on Sammy Ingram's video. A girl lost her ring, and another extra one reappeared. I've heard that stuff too. I have extra stuff. I found it after a breakup. As so many people I have talked to, so many people I have heard, so many people I've read, this shit has a way of finding you. Just like all the people who, born again Christians, or they find religion, they find it when shit goes to fuck. When I exhaust, and it was a while after that, but when I exhausted all of my, I think this was something that kind of happened, the YouTube stuff too, was like all the things that I could logically think to do and logically wanted to do, and all that kind of logic stuff, I exhausted all of it. I'm like, I've tried all the things. I have nothing left to rely on but my mindset, and I'm going to do it because I don't know what else to do with myself. You find it at the right time, I believe. I agree. Now I'm Google and asked how to get an X back, and manifestation content began appearing on my For You page. That was back in 2022, laugh out loud. I believe it. I believe it. It was my therapist who was like, you need a vision board. And I'm like, what the fuck is a vision board? And that opened up the rabbit hole, and I there was no turning back. Again, once I saw it, I couldn't unsee it. I couldn't unsee that maybe there was, like, I was missing something. I knew I was missing something. Now, the way I went about it was quite an adventure, but it got me here. I had to unlearn a lot of things and I had to shift a lot of shit to get myself here, but I got here. I think one of the things for me was that, you can question all of it. Like, there's nothing that has to be 100% a fact about yourself or other people or situations. Or a friend who told me he knew about it since 2020. I was like, God, why didn't you tell me back then? I hear that. But I also know that if you're not ready to hear it, you're not going to hear it. Just like rewatching movies or rereading books, like, there's versions of this stuff all around you. You just blow it off because your belief system, it kind of feels like when your belief system starts to shift in a way and there's like a weak point or a shifting point, or like the bridge is about to crumble, then manifestation comes in and like starts rebuilding the bridge. I don't know how to word what I'm saying, but you get to a certain state where you're ready to hear it and you're open enough to be like, I guess, sure. Something amazing is going to happen today. Use thoughts as your proof. Yup. That's true. MHM. I'm not sure what MHM is. That's true. A lot of people trauma sharing, the law of assumption. A lot of people go crazy when they hear no free will. Yeah, they think it as something unnatural when it works actually like the law of gravity. Everyone is functioning under it. Yeah. hmm Honestly, I don't think I would have believed him if he told me. Exactly. Exactly. I know I heard things similar to that kind of stuff, but I was not at the point to hear it until I was. And then I'm like, okay, I'm open to this. I was very skeptical, very skeptical, and was like, which is why it took me so long to figure it out. Because I didn't just do it. That's where most people fuck it up, is they feel like there's more to understand or more to learn or figure out or blah, blah, blah. And it's like, apply it. Neville had that completely right. Be doers of the law, not just hearers or whatever he said. If you're all you're gonna do is try to figure it out, you're never gonna figure it out because you're never gonna have your own experiences to guide you. I get no period pains because the law, it's a learning process. It is a learning process. You get better and better every time you apply it after you completely trust. Yeah. Oh yeah. Oh hell yeah. And that trust is a choice. It becomes natural. It does. Yeah, you have to apply it or you're keeping yourself in a cycle of, oh, there's more to look for and learn, which is a manifestation in itself. Yep. Oh yeah, I did that for a long time too. I'm missing something. I'm missing something. I'm missing something. No, you're missing just doing it and then allowing yourself to learn from there. It was always just like that money thing. It was me applying it. Okay, I don't have the money, but I will. It was applying it that made me go, "Oh fuck." That's when I saw it. Like, "Oh, it's working. It works, but that's not what I want it to work on." Okay. having things happen, deciding things were going to go certain ways. And I remember, I think I've told this story, but I remember getting a jury summons and being like, I don't want jury duty. They don't need me. And just assuming that I wouldn't need to go and then I didn't have to go. And I remember, I'm like, if this actually works out and I don't have to go, I don't have to show up at the courthouse, then I know this is real and I know it works. And it happened perfectly. I didn't need to show up. I didn't have to go. And that feeling of, oh my God, this is real and it works lasted a day ish. And that was when I learned, oh shit, it's a choice. It's a choice to believe. It's a choice to trust. I have to tell myself I believe and I trust. Because then I'm going to start having the experiences of the belief and the trust. I was manifesting all kinds of crazy shit. But because I was sitting there going like, oh, I don't know. Again, presence, awareness, choice. In the moment, I was choosing to be like, I don't know if it's real. I don't know if it's working. I don't know. I don't know. Me too, laugh out loud. I feel like it's a phase we all go through. You can pass exams without studying, even if you do bad in the exam. It happened to me last year, math exams. I passed the math exam just by affirming. I believe it. I absolutely believe it. Because you're telling yourself that that's what's true. How do you get good at telling yourself what you want to be true over what you think is true? By fucking doing it. Practicing. It gets easier. Remember a few weeks ago, I got an exam grade back. I thought, nah, there was a grading error. The next day, the professor told us there was a grading error. I didn't even apply. It didn't apply to me. I honestly doubted a. Guessing there's more to that, Vivian. Sky's the limit revision. Yeah. I honestly doubted a little, but I got a better grade because I knew I deserved it. I saw him at his office hours and he regraded it. Use subliminals for that stuff. You find what works for you and you do it. And you realize that the doubting doesn't matter. It only matters if you're like, "Oh my God, I'm doubting too much. I can't think of it correctly. I'm not doing this right." You're doing it perfectly. I use it as a placebo. Identity is pure consciousness. I agree. Everything is. You are, other people are. And that's where breaking it down to those three things I was talking about earlier, it's just like that's all it is. If you understand those three things and you can tell yourself those three things, you'll fucking grasp it at some point. It'll click. I don't even identify with names and labels, just pure consciousness. Sonia, do you believe genetics is fixed? I don't. I don't. If you believe that that is what's true, then yeah. Yeah, you agree, Moons. I don't know that anything is fixed. Like, I think that there's the laws of nature, gravity and whatever, and because we have to have a place to function in, but I know I've controlled the weather. Whatever I've told myself is true is true. And there's just some things I don't care to fucking, like, I don't care to fuck with gravity. It's fine. Who cares? Science is always changing too. Yeah, exactly. Seeing people 180 in their behavior towards me is probably the most mind-blowing one for me. Yeah, that's a big one. Yeah. When people start doing things that you're like, that person will never do that, but I'm going to tell myself they're doing this, and then they do, and you're like, excuse me? Who are you? It's all pretty mind blowing. There's so many things that it's just like, wait, huh? Jax is moaning. He's mad at me. He's like, Mom, can we be done, please? So, yeah, I am going to get off of here now. It has been way longer than I thought I would be on here, but it has been so fun talking with you guys. I know Jax missed you too, Moons. He's hiding at the moment, but I've missed you, Moons. I have missed you guys. Like I said, I just did way too much. How is he? Oh, he's good. See, everything's always perfect. This is just like the weird. I appreciate your time. Well, I'm so grateful that you came and hung out with me, Moons. Um, the day after I had to put Precious to sleep, Jax's back went out. It didn't go out really bad, but because she had been sick, I'd been spending a lot of time taking care of her. And like, it was this weird, oh my God, now what do I do with myself? Because she's not here. And this like weird guilt um, thing going on. And then I'm like, of course his back went out because now things don't change all that much because I have to keep him under control and I have to be watching him like I used to watch her and I have to give him medicine. Everything's always fucking perfect. I'll catch you on your next live. Awesome. Well, like I said, right now I'm in this weird place of I feel like I may have something more to say about manifesting, but in my own way. And bless, everything is always working out. It is always working out. I may not always think that or remember that, but it is. It always is. Goodbye for now. Goodbye for now. Thank you guys so much for watching. I am so grateful for all of you. Thank you for all the support over the past almost 2 years. Getting me to 2,000 subscribers is amazing. And I will see you soon. Bye.